Hey, everybody on the square, Andrew Marston here, and today we're doing another community spotlight interview with an active Square user that you've probably seen around. And the purpose of these is to build community to hopefully help us all get to know each other a little bit better. And today we're joined by the one and only Tessa Schutz. Tessa, thank you for making
Hello.
time today.
Yeah, this is exciting. Thanks.
Yeah, and so I always forget to do this at the very beginning, but where can people find your work online?
My website and Instagram are Tessa in Motion. Instagram's Tessa underscore in motion. And then, of course, TessaInMotion.com. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks. So the I guess the first thing is simply like, who are you? What do you do? And I'm gonna roll in like if you want to give some background, your origin story, as some other guests have been calling it. Just fill us in on who Tessa Shoots is.
Sure. Yeah. So I've actually been working in video production really for about 7 years, been freelance, kind of running my own production company, um, doing like music videos, conference videos, that sort of stuff. I'm mostly the producer and editor. Um, but before that, like when I was a kid, I was always wanted to be an animator. I always did stop motion for fun, and then I was one of those people that's like, oh, you can't really make a career out of that, or I'm not good enough, or whatever it was. So I just got into like marketing, which led me into video. And yeah, so living the freelance life is really nice doing video production. And then always a little part of me was like, I just love animation. I would just do After Effects whenever I had the chance for clients and it just kind of dabbled here and there. And then it was actually quarantine. So this last year when I was like, you know what? I lost a lot of my work. I'm going to kind of shift gears. And I took school motion courses and kind of upped my game. And so now I've officially like decided like, all right, I'm going this route now. So now I'm a motion designer, animator. So, and I still do like photography and video stuff on the side when I can, but for the most part, motion design.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah.
Well, congratulations of making the leap to go solo freelance.
Yeah, it was scary to do because I had a full-time job Monday through Friday, like, sort of thing. And I had enough clients. So I was like, I think I can be sustainable, And so that first year I was so poor. I was like, oh God, I almost went crawling back. But literally, like after that first hump, that first year, I was like, then it started. And now at the point, well, like last year or year before last, 7 years in, 6 years in, it was like just consistent clients just repeat coming back. Once you get to that certain point,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. What was I mean, you mentioned just kind of building up that client base. What do you feel like kind of really tipped the scales in your favor where you knew you could get reliable, consistent income? Was it, I don't know, like, did you go to conferences? Did you just cold call people, or how'd you get connected with your first clients?
I was lucky because of the job I had. I got to network with a lot of people. I worked I worked in tourism, so I worked with a lot of restaurants and hotels and as my job. And then so that's how I got to know those people. And then one time, actually how it started was the transportation company was like, hey, can you come and make a video about us on the weekend? Like, what? You'll pay me to do this? So that's kind of how it got started. And I just kind of started doing stuff after work and on weekends to where I was like, all right, I got some savings. I'll just, work really hard to get more clients. And yeah, so that's pretty much, it's just like I kind of came from my job and knew people that way. Motion design, though, is different because I don't have a base of clients based on a job. So I'm kind of doing that, like putting feelers out, getting to know people, almost cold call emails to studios, doing that whole thing.
How's the
Read
how's
Joey's book.
Oh yeah, freelance
Yeah,
manifesto.
yeah.
Oh, for sure. I'm right in that camp with you. How's your experience been with the cold call process or the cold email process?
Not so good. I don't
So,
know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been doing emails, and I've also there's like various like Facebook groups, and someone will post a job. I've had better luck with that, to be honest, and LinkedIn, those sort of things,
Hmm.
versus just emailing companies or studios. But that's my goal. I'll get one of these
Well,
days.
and you know, from my experience, it only takes one sometimes where, you do a good job for one person, they have a bunch more work, and then they'll tell somebody else who is like, hey, how'd you get that animation? Oh, well, Tessa. And
Yep.
then the word gets around. And did you mention it already? I know we talked. We were just in the community hangout that happened this morning, and you mentioned that you're in California.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that where you give us like a glimpse into your background, your origin story of? Did you grow up in California?
I did. Yeah. I live in a small desert town, so lots of Joshua trees and really hot weather in the summer and like snow in the winter. So it's a little crazy, but I'm about an hour away from Los Angeles.
Hmm.
But yeah, I did grow up here, and funny enough, I moved to Oregon for about a year when I was 18. I like graduated high school. I'm like, see you, mom, going out of state. And experienced that for a little bit, and it rained a lot, so I came back to the sunshine.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to backtrack because a question came to me while you were talking about your business as well. Like, so when you make this like transportation video, like was it just you? Because this was one of your first clients, you said.
Hmm.
Was it just like you
Yeah.
and your camera, or did you have to like somehow assemble a crew from nothing, or how did that work?
Yeah, so when I first started, yes, it was just me. I would just be running, gunning with my camera, and I look back at that just with anybody. It's like, oh God, how did they pay me to do this stuff?
That's pretty much all my previous work
Yeah,
too. I'm like, ooh, you paid me what?
yeah. I know. But so yes, it was just me kind of run and gun. And then as I got more clients, as I had more money, I was able to buy better equipment. And then I started realizing that I don't like carrying everything, and I don't like, and then also it kind of, you know, to be a jack of all trades is good and also bad. It's like I don't want to do everything. There's people who are really good at directing or really good with camera, and I know I'm really good at editing and animation. So I now, in recent years, I hire a crew, and I'll usually have, a camera operator, a sound person, and I'm usually the director or producer on set. So I'm just kind of like overseeing everything and let everyone else do the work. And then, so it kind of, but it grew from that. And it's funny too, because I'd actually ask my husband sometimes to come help me. And, um, back in the day, like I did a video with Nuts at Nuts Berry Farm, and he was there being my second camera, and I have this picture of him with like a Snoopy head on, and like I kind of made him do it, and he's just like, why am I here? I'm like, I'm sorry, but thanks. I guess this is me. I'm starting out, but
Oh,
it
for
was all worth
sure.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. How long did it take? I mean, you said you've been like 6, 7 years into this. I think you said,
Mhm.
um, about how long did it take before you were able to start, expanding your crew to just you and your husband?
Hmm. I'd say I'd say about a good 3 years. I did it alone.
Yeah.
And then after that, was able to start. And it's the fear of charging more too. I don't know if you can relate or anyone can relate, but I realized like, oh, if I charge more, I can bring in more people and make it easier on myself. And so once I got over that, uh, I was able to do that. So
What did you find that to be a difficult leap to explain to clients, or like was there any pushback from the clients when you started charging more?
oh yeah, oh yeah, there always is. And then but then you get new clients that are willing to pay that.
Hmm.
I've kept my old clients, and they've, sometimes I'll just kind of lower my crew too, just to kind of fit in their budget. I'm willing to work with my OG
Yeah,
people.
the
So,
people who helped you get where you are.
yeah.
Yeah. Like I do this a little bit, but the clients who you took on early that are still with you, um, like have you grandfathered them in to like, do they have different rates, or do you? And if you don't want to answer this, you don't have to. But I'm basically trying to get it. Like, do you change your rate for the amount of time people have been with you? Essentially, like as your rate increases, does that affect your old clients?
I don't know if this is like
And I
wrong to
can.
do, but
Oh yeah,
yes, but I
yeah.
do. Like, for example, I have a small handful of people I've worked with throughout the years.
Mhm.
And I have raised prices, but not by much. And they're also really good friends. So, and I probably should, because I actually know people who do similar things to me, and they're like, "Hey, this is my rate this year. I'm upping it. If you can't afford it, I'm sorry. I'm just kind of this." But I don't know. I just value the relationship I have, and so I stick with this. Only as like maybe 3 clients though that I do this with. But yes, I do that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if
I
that's
do the
bad.
same as well.
Okay.
I mean, especially if they came and trusted me when I didn't really have a reputation. Not that my reputation
Exactly.
is like anything to speak of, but if they were willing to take that risk, and for probably the first year were like 50, 75% of my income, I feel like, especially if I know that they can't necessarily afford an increased rate, on the right projects, I certainly would
Yeah.
love to keep working with them. And you never know what that relationship is going to lead to in the future and where somebody from that company might go. Um,
It's true. And one more thing on that is those original OG clients that I had have led me to others. Like, hey, Tessa does this or Tessa does animation. And then I've gotten, work at my normal rate from
yeah,
other people. So yeah.
absolutely. Here, so you have your. I'm going to switch to your screen now. I'm switching. So now on the recording, we can see us, you and me, and your screen. And thank you for pulling up your Instagram. I love looking at some of the work that people I'm talking to here have done, and I really like. I feel like your style. I don't know if you do this intentionally, but there's sort of like a playful nature to it. I don't know if it's the
Hmm.
colors or like the motion. Not all of them. I'm looking at like the ink blot one as well. That's a little bit of an outlier, but you have like kind of a fun style. Actually, so that ink blot one, I was looking at that earlier. Could you click on that?
Oh yeah. This one's fun. So
Do,
this one, it's
yeah, yeah.
totally different than anything I've really done. But I love it so much because of how I made it. I mean, what do you think how I made this? Would you think I
So,
did it in After Effects
well,
probably or
I would do it. I would do it in After Effects two ways. I would either my default would be find some stock footage of ink blots, or barring that, I would probably try to fake this with like Photoshop brushes and like fractal noise that's expanding and masks, and it would take forever. Um, how did you do it?
yeah. So no, I did not see that. So I painted the logo that you see in watercolor, and then I wanted it to look like this, and so I tried all those things you mentioned. I actually had some footage of paint spreading. I even bought some to try to make it work, and I just couldn't get it to work right. I tried doing cell animation too, just kind of drawing it out. I was like, oh, this isn't working. And so what I ended up doing was it's all practical. So it's literally video footage of me dropping ink into water, and then I took that footage and composited it into this logo. And so it's like it's really cool when you make something that you like think about, like this is what I want it to look like, and then it actually comes out how you wanted it to look like. I'll show you my setup too. I have it right here.
Oh, cool! Yeah, I
Uh,
love as much information as you have.
so this is where I did
Huh.
it at. It's my closet.
Are those
I have
IKEA lights?
they
Yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah. I have done many things like this as well. Oh, and I have the same clamp light I got at Home Depot.
I actually
uh,
made this with the PVC pipe and everything. I made like a top. My original plan was to do a multi-frame camera
mhm.
thing, but I haven't finished that part yet. But yeah, so and then I just recorded, this kind of stuff,
Hmm,
and then posited that into the
so
video. So
cool.
pretty fun. I love. I'm such a I love my little passion is for the original animation. Like cell animation and just keeping it. Even though I love After Effects and everything, I just love the traditional art as well. So that's why I'm so excited to do that.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it is about that specific one, even though it's different than some of your other pieces. There's a real visceral, tangible feel to it that you would be hard pressed to get trying to make the fake it in After Effects.
Yeah, it was fun. This one was fun.
Awesome. Well, so to be sensitive of time as well, I'm going to transition us to. Let me switch my scene here. Transition us to the section I call highlights and lowlights, where maybe you pick something from your career that it doesn't have to be some deep, dark, incriminating lowlight, but like maybe some time that you made a mistake that you learned something from, or it doesn't even have to be you, as a low light, and then a highlight, just a highlight from your career so far.
uh, Sure, I'll start with a low light because something just happened to me recently. It's almost embarrassing, and I don't know if I want to say this, but whatever, I'll say it. So
I can edit
I've
this
been,
out too.
no, it's all good.
Okay.
It's so I've been applying for various freelance jobs recently, and I actually saw a posting for an editor at Nickelodeon. I was like, wow, that'd be amazing. It's kind of my childhood. I loved Nickelodeon growing up and all that. And so they wanted a resume and a cover letter. So I'm writing my cover letter and I sent it off. And then the next day I'm having dinner with my friends and I'm talking about it. I'm like, wow, how cool would it be to get this job? Probably will, but And then I realized that in my cover letter, I mentioned, kind of a little bit about myself and how I was such a super fan of Powerpuff Girls and I would draw them every day. And then it hit me. I'm like, oh my God, Powerpuff Girls is Cartoon Network. What am I thinking? Oh, so I don't even know how I made that mistake. Obviously it's not Nickelodeon. I don't know. So yeah, they're probably not going to hire me.
So you never heard back?
No, I didn't.
Well,
whatever.
It's an easy mistake to make. Yeah, I mean, in my mind, they kind of all just get lumped into childhood cartoons.
I got so excited. I'm just like, yeah, I want to apply for this job. I didn't really think it through, but whatever. It's all good. There'll be another opportunity.
I love that story. I do hope maybe they'll overlook it. Maybe they get back to you. And do you have like a highlight standout moment from your career so far?
Well, I haven't really. I mean, I've been doing, basically going full time motion for about a year, a little over a year. So I don't have too much, but I can say that when I spent a year in School of Motion taking courses, I think I've taken 6 or 5. And then I was like, okay, I think I'm ready. Let me apply for a job. And literally, I applied for 2, and I got both of them. Like
Wow.
the first 2. So I was like, wow, it's working. So that's a big highlight. And it was a really cool job too. It was like a stop motion project for one of them. And then, which was like the editing, the visual effects and the editing. And then the other one was for like titles for a cooking show. It's like, oh my God, this is amazing. School of Motion paid off. It actually did. It paid for the one job, paid for School of Motion investment. So
School of Motion didn't pay us to say this, by the way.
No, yeah, but I stand behind it. It's true.
Yeah, and the community as well. I mean, you're part of that, which is why I was excited that you were free to talk now. Really welcoming community, and I see you on the square, but it's really nice to actually get to know you a little bit beyond just like your icon and then the text. So thank you for taking time. I guess I've just naturally started to bring this interview to a wrap, but one more time, can you tell people where they can find your work?
Yeah, it's on Instagram, Tessa_InMotion, and TessaInMotion.com.
Awesome, thanks. And in closing, is there anything else you'd like to say to all the Tessa fans and those watching?
Well, thanks for watching. I think this is really cool, kind of like low-key my dream when I'm like became an animator. I'm like, man, a goal of mine is to be interviewed. So you just like helped me achieve that. So thank you.
Everybody go check out Tessa's work. I hope that everybody feels like they know Tessa a little bit better. If you need a top-notch motion designer, definitely reach out to her. And Tessa, thanks again for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew.
Awesome. I'm going to hit stop record.